My fellow Americans, welcome back to Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. A little late on the podcast for you guys. Sorry, that one was my fault. I won't blame everything on Tyler, even though it's mostly his fault. But agenda for today, This Day in History by Tyler, Athlete by me. Talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame inductees, Olympics, random questions, pet peeves, and then some closing comments. So this day in history, what happened?
Today, August 5th, 1960, my father was born and caused me nothing but pain for the rest of my life.
Nice.
In 2010, you'll remember this one. I remember this very well. 33 workers became trapped in a mine in Chile, and it took 69 days to rescue them.
69.
Nice. I remember nobody died, though.
Did no one die from that?
I don't think anybody died.
I mean, I guess they had a pretty gnarly supply of food and water down there because that would
Must have.
suck, dude.
I would be dead after a week just from, well, after a couple of days from the panic attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know a little bit about like what the conditions were down there. Did they have like electricity through generators and stuff, or was it just straight darkness and some meals ready to eat and just cases of water? Because
They
that'd be
had
brutal.
they had to have had some type of sustenance because you can't live that long without it.
No, you have to have minimum food and water. But that'd be shitty, dude. You
I
can't
just
probably breathe.
remember I remember like clock ticking down because of the oxygen. Like they were running out of oxygen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, how long can they survive? It must have been a pretty big mine, honestly, because there's 30 people down there. There must have been a significant amount of open space for that oxygen to not run out.
Or at least just some sort of like, even if it's not a lot, just airflow to the surface.
Right, right, exactly. It's crazy.
In 1930, Neil Armstrong was born, the first man to set foot on the moon, allegedly. Was
Allegedly.
born in Wapakoneta, Ohio.
He looks like an Ohioan.
Yeah, people in Ohio claim first in flight, and I think that's because the Wright brothers are born in Ohio, but they did the flight in North Carolina. I don't know why they claim that. They're incorrect because the flight happened in North Carolina, so I don't know why they claim that. But Ohio just kind of sucks overall.
Ohio has got to be up there with the worst states. Like, it really has to be. I feel like all the people that move down south from up north come from Ohio. We have a ridiculous amount of Ohio State fans down here, and they're just the worst.
I mean, they have to be bottom five state, right?
They gotta be. We need to do a state ranking in one of these episodes, but they gotta be bottom five state. And honestly, if you like Ohio State that much, just go back.
Yeah, stay there.
Yeah.
Here's another Ohio fact. 1914, Cleveland, Ohio, the first electric traffic light was installed. It only featured red and green lights.
Another bad fact about Ohio, we hate stoplights.
Terrible. Cause more problems than they do solve things.
Yeah.
1962, 2 years after my dad is born, Marilyn Monroe dies. Coincidence? I don't know.
Not a coincidence. I think he was directly involved with that.
Here's another thing. On that same exact day in 1962, Patrick Ewing is born. So is he Marilyn Monroe reincarnated?
I think all signs point to yes.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's all I got. Nothing else crazy.
No, that was a good day. Good day in history. Um, but moving into athlete, so you know the rules. You get your one guess. Um, and then we'll work you down. We'll walk you in.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous about this one.
That makes me think it's somebody I like. David Wright.
Negative. Negative.
Is
I
it a
thought
new?
I thought you were picking up kind of what I was putting down, but I guess we're not as much on the same wavelength as I originally thought.
Oh fuck, it's Patrick Ewing, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it a New York Met?
It is not.
Is it a baseball player?
Nope.
Basketball.
No. Kind of. Multi-sport athlete, let's just say that.
Did he play in the NBA?
No.
Did he play college basketball?
Yes.
Tony Gwynn.
No.
Hmm. Hmm. Hall of Famer in one of his sports?
Yes.
Was he inducted this weekend?
Yes.
Julius Peppers.
Yep. Got it. That's where I thought, because I know we put Hall of Fame on the agenda, and I thought you were gonna pick up what I was putting down and guess one of those. So the pool size was significantly smaller. So, I got a beer in the fridge. I was ready to go after it.
Yeah, I was thinking that you were saying I was picking up a different vibe right there.
Okay. All right. But no,
Check.
so Julius Peppers, I mean, longtime Carolina great, ended up retiring with Carolina. I'm glad that he came back and finished his last like year and a half with the Panthers. But he I don't know if he got traded or if he was a free agent and went to Chicago for about 4 seasons and then played for Green Bay, which is always weird to think about, but for 3 seasons. But he definitely had his best years with Carolina. And also a multi-sport athlete. He did play basketball at UNC.
2 years, right?
Yes. And
I'm pretty sure he was on a Final Four team, right?
yeah, he was. And then he was in his Hall of Fame speech this weekend. He talked about the reason he went to Carolina was because of Michael Jordan, which I thought was pretty cool. He wasn't like that talented as a basketball player, but he was an absolute freak athlete.
Well, he's strong as fuck and crazy athletic for a defensive lineman.
Right. And I mean, just if you type in Julius Peppers basketball highlights, like it's just absurd dunks.
I saw a clip of him. I guess it was circulated because he got inducted in the Hall of Fame. It was him in high school, and they had to convince him to play football, and he only played because they let him play running back.
Oh my God, could you imagine trying to tackle that dude?
No,
I
no,
thought
I actually can't.
I thought Antonio Williams was hard to tackle.
Yeah, I remember watching him play JV and just thinking he's going to go to the NFL.
I thought he was actually going to hurt someone at some point. Like just such a low center of gravity, just so much weight behind him, and he could move. He had some quick feet.
He didn't play running back on varsity though, right?
No, I think there were some times with Coach Eanes that we messed around and threw him at B back a couple times. Which, dude, imagine meeting him right in the freaking A gap. That would not be fun. But Quincy was so good that why would we want anybody else to touch the ball? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just remember like Quincy and Charles.
Charles was really good. He got hurt, or he could have had a significant college career. I think that dude was the good mixture of size, athleticism, and he was starting to put it together, but he just couldn't stay healthy.
I don't know. I think I might have told you this, but I walked home from Food Lion when I lived at the apartment, and some big ass black dude was like hollering at me from a car, and I was like, "Great, well, I'm not running away because I can't run. This dude's about to beat my ass." So I turned around and gave him some eyes, and it was fucking Charles. He was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" I was like,
Funny,
"Fuck,
man.
thank God."
Thank God, because I did not want to get all my groceries stolen.
Well, fuck groceries. That guy's big enough to take your fucking life away from you.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I think he put on some weight and got pretty stacked. But I think I follow him on Facebook and it seems to be I think he's on a little bit of like a weight loss journey type deal. Not trying to get like skinny by any means, but getting back in shape. And I know he does the whole flag football deal. I see that all the time.
Yeah, it seems like he's having like a pretty big impact on some kids doing that flag football thing.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing to get into, impacting the youth, bringing back to the community. Yeah, but speaking of Julius Peppers, right? So he did just get inducted to the Hall of Fame this weekend. That Hall of Fame class, includes pass rushers Dwight Freeney and Julius Peppers, linebackers Patrick Willis and Randy Gradishar. Don't know who that is. Not sure if you do. Wide receiver Andre Johnson and Devin Hester. I know he's kind of a return man, but he's listed as a wide receiver. And then defensive tackle Steve McMichael.
I know all those guys except Randy Gradishar, so I just Googled him real quick. Shout out Dwight Freeney, former Syracuse Orange man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Steve McMichael, that thing's really cool. Him getting inducted before he dies. They probably could have fucking done it sooner. Because he's in bad shape right now. But it is cool that he got to see that. His family got to see that while he's still alive.
Yeah, I saw something about that. What is he suffering from? Do you know?
I don't know. I feel like it's some sort of autoimmune disease, something that's pretty like debilitating. Just based on the amount of weight he's lost, and I don't even think he could speak.
Yeah, he looked to be in pretty bad shape.
Devin Hester's cool because he's the first primarily kick returner or returner in general inducted into the Hall of Fame, because I remember him more as a punt returner than a kick returner, but I know he did both. He was a freak. I just remember the fucking opening kickoff of the Super Bowl.
That's exactly what I was saying. I think they were playing like the Colts or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just imagine how many touchdowns or more yards he would have had if they just actually kicked the ball to him. Because what point do you get to where it's like, all right, man, we're just going to kick this out of bounds?
As I watched a video where it was every one of his return touchdowns, and the first 2 years in the league, they just kicked it to him. And then there's like gaps of like 3 years in between each touchdown because I think people just started avoiding him.
Yeah, they just start kicking the ball out of bounds.
Which should get you in the Hall of Fame alone if people are changing their whole fucking, like they're changing football basically.
Yeah, you're altering the game 100%.
And he gave shout outs to two people.
Josh Cribbs.
Josh Cribbs, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Brian something. He was a Redskins guy.
Yeah, he's old school.
Yep.
80s. But Josh Cribbs is another fucking guy.
Yeah. Definitely. So I think it's really cool that he got inducted. I think rightfully deserved. He essentially changed the way teams had to play because he was just back there. Also, him and Andre Johnson, I'm pretty sure are both University of Miami alums.
Andre Johnson, honestly, I didn't even know he'd been out of the league long enough to get inducted, because he's just one of those guys. I'm like, he's always been around when I've been watching football. Remember when he beat the fuck out of that guy?
Yeah, that dude was on the Titans. It was like Quentin something, I think.
He was just one of those scrappy little DBs, and I mean, he was definitely about it. But Andre Johnson is not the dude to be fucking with.
No, I would not want to meet him in a dark alley. And I remember he like ripped his helmet off. You remember that? That shit was crazy.
Started beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's the NFL that I want to see. I do think, speaking of Devin Hester, I think it's going to be cool with the new return rules this year, the kickoff rules. It's going to be different. We'll have to see if it works out, but I think it's going to actually give the returners a little bit more wiggle room to make some exciting things happen.
So what's the nuance of it?
So I don't remember the exact yard lines that they start at, but basically the kickoff team is moved way forward. They're probably like 10 yards away from where the first line of that return team sets up.
Yep.
And essentially they have to wait until the ball is caught. So until they can move. Right. And so they don't get that running start that they've always gotten. And it allows the blocks to actually get set up without some freaking, track star running down, treating you like Jonathan Kelly treated you on practice kickoff.
Facts.
So I think it's going to allow them to really going to be able to strategize it and be able to set up some blocking and really make things happen. Also, onside kicks, you have to declare if you're going to do an onside kick. So it has to be a pre-dictated thing. And you can only do it in the fourth quarter, I believe. There's no more like surprise onside kicks coming out of halftime or anything like that.
I don't love that.
I don't love that either. But truthfully, the way it's set up, because they move the kickoff team up, they kind of have to identify if they're going to kick. But I think you should be able to kick an onside kick whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have to declare it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but overall, I think pretty good Hall of Fame class. Some very notable people. Patrick Willis, I don't think gets as much love as he always deserves, and he was on there. But let's move into Olympics. I've been trying to get after the Olympics a little bit. It's been hard because I've been so busy with work, and like all last week I was out in the field with no like TV or anything. But we're holding our own in the medal count. And specifically basketball, I did watch that game against drawing a blank on who they played.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, exactly. And
it was an America versus America game. I don't understand that one.
Yeah, I don't really understand that one either. But they kept it pretty competitive there in the first half, and then Ant got busy, man. Ant got really busy. I think watching the game and watching these Olympics always, we've been robbed of having Steph and LeBron play together. I would have loved so much to see them play on the same team, especially with all this stuff going on and superstars making super teams. And how awesome would that duo have been?
Yeah, insane.
Also, another thing to watch, a lot of people are talking about how Ant is just following KD around like he's his big brother. And, I could potentially see KD is known to hop to a Superstars team. I could see KD in Minnesota.
I mean, that would be fun to watch.
It would be. I know Ant is very ball dominant, but KD can play off the ball. He really can. His game suits that.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing he can't do.
Yeah, he very well could be the greatest scorer of all time.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing he can't do. I'm just looking at the medal count right now. We're way ahead of everybody in total medal count. 78, and then the second is China with 53, and we're one behind them in golds. So I think we're going to end up getting the gold medal count and the total medal count.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It's always us.
Say what?
I said it's always us in China. We're the two. They're countries that send the most athletes, so it makes sense that we would be out there with them.
Right. I think it was cool that the Noah Lyles dude that runs the 100-meter.
Yeah.
I don't love his attitude, but I am glad he brought the gold home for Team USA. He was going to have some explaining to do if he didn't, though.
Oh, you talk all that shit, and the comment he made was, "How can you declare yourself the world champs if you didn't beat everybody in the world?" Talking about the Boston Celtics, and I saw somebody tweet, "Well, Noah Lyles is the fastest man in the world," and then somebody else said, "Well, he hasn't raced every single person on Earth, so can you really call him the fastest man in the world?"
Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying because the 100-meter champion is declared the fastest man in the world, right? That's the race that determines who's the fastest man in the world, right? If you win the Olympic gold medal in 100 meters, you are then the reigning fastest man in the world. With the NBA argument, we always say world champions because they would beat any other team assembled, right? Like all the good, if you're good enough and you play overseas, you come to the NBA. You are like, they're the world champions. Like, I don't care what they say.
Yeah, Noah Lyles is a cornball, but I'm happy he won.
Yeah, right.
He's our cornball.
He's our cornball. Yeah, exactly.
Also, the EuroLeague champ is getting beat by the fucking 8 seed in the playoffs. So like, it's not an argument. That's a dumb argument. Dumb hill to die on.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just trying to get publicity.
He's a legit like nerd.
No doubt. He did like a Dragon Ball Z celebration when he won, I saw.
Which is cool, by the way. Dragon Ball Z is cool. The Yu-Gi-Oh stuff he does, man, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck he's so fast he's probably running away from people bullying him.
He could
for
be.
being for being a cornball.
Yeah, he very well could be. That race was close, man. Like, I don't know if he should have won that. I mean, a win's a win, but it was really close.
The the distance between him winning gold and the guy finishing in fourth is like insanity how close it is.
Yeah, that was an extremely close race. And honestly, just watching it with the naked eye, I didn't think he won. Um,
I looked at the picture of it and I don't think it doesn't look like he won, but obviously they've got some sort of digital thing that determines
so
it.
my thing is it just when your head crosses the line? Because it looked to me like the other dude's foot crossed first.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what the overall factor is in what determines who crosses the line first. I would think whole like for me, it'd be whole body, but it's obviously not that.
No, it's obviously not that. I would have thought the first part of your body that crosses the line triggers the sensor, and that's the win. But to me, it looked like that dude's foot. I think from Jamaica. I can't remember which country it was from, but it looked like his foot crossed that line first. But hey, that's why I'm not on the Olympic committee, I guess.
Yeah. Fast guys. I don't know.
Fast guys, yeah. All right, so let's move into random questions. I have a few random questions. Some of them are pretty open-ended. Um, like one I want to talk about is there was this viral video of Seth Trimble. I think I sent it to you. He's a Carolina basketball player, and he was playing in some open runs, and he dunked on Jaime Jaquez Jr. from the Heat. I
I
think
think it's pronounced Jamie Jackwes.
there's no chance it's Jamie Jacquez, but it might not be Jaime Jaquez either. But my question is, if you're playing pickup and you're, a college dude out there playing with the pros, is there some kind of unwritten rule that you don't dunk on a pro?
Fuck no.
No?
No, listen. Anytime you're playing somebody at a higher status than you, you're going for their fucking head. Every time I've played somebody better than me, I'm always playing one way harder than them and way more physical than them. Just because I'm trying to prove a point. But the issue is the people in his camp because there's video out there of LeBron in high school dominating Jordan when he was older, and everything has been scrubbed from the earth. You got to get a better camp if you're Jamie or Jaime, excuse me.
Right. I mean, Jaime is a lot different player than Michael Jordan. Let's just keep it real there. Also, he's still pretty young. Um, they say that once something's on the internet, it never goes away, which, unless you're Michael Jordan or LeBron James, I think they can make that stuff happen.
There was a video years ago, and I don't even remember the guy's name. I don't even know if he ever made it to the league. Just insane dunk on LeBron. And I remember seeing the video. It was like shitty quality, but you can't find that shit anymore.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing that video too, and that thing has been absolutely scrubbed from the earth. I'm sure you could probably find some like bad quality version, but I think these dudes now are probably like a no phone policy when you're in the gym at my camp.
I don't think there should be phones because you're in there you're trying to put in work. And I don't think it was one of Trimble's guys that got it said Trimble or Tremble.
Trimble, TRI.
Trimble's a tight end in the NFL.
Yes, correct.
Um, I think it was just a dude watching.
Yeah, I think it was just some dude that happened to be filming. I think he was probably just putting a clip and just happened to catch it on camera, and it was a crazy dunk. Seth Trimble is a freak athlete. Fun fact, he's JP Tokoto's cousin.
Freak athlete.
Yeah, freak athlete. Plays exceptional defense. I think Tokoto ended up playing in the G League, but I don't think he ever really like made it to the league. I think he probably got called up as a two-way player a little bit, but
JP Tokoto never had a cup of coffee in the NBA.
yeah, yeah. No.
Should have, I think. Athletic enough.
Athletic enough, but offensive game definitely not there.
If he came up in the 90s, he would have made the NBA. It's his style of play isn't really conducive to what they do right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, and then moving on, House of the Dragon. Did you watch the season finale?
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't, so don't spoil anything. I might watch it tonight. I might watch it tomorrow. I ended up watching episode 7 last night. It's the one before the season finale. I gotta say, I've heard some mixed reviews. Heard it wasn't that great of a season finale.
Um,
Without spoiling.
yeah, I'm very anti-spoiler. It's not bad by any means. I don't know if it'll be what you want,
That's fair.
but that's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it going right now is like obviously there's gonna be a new season, right? So they can't, there's only one episode. It can't be some crazy event because there's not time, right? They have to leave us on a cliffhanger because we're going into the next season. So like I can kind of figure out where I think, it's gonna fall in. I've been loving the season. I think it's been really good.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a little lacking in action, but that's like what we talked about before. Like a lot of people can't handle dialogue and like character building.
Yeah, right. And I mean, with the Game of Thrones series, a lot of that character building does happen. So it's one of those shows that you kind of have to just, wait it out.
There's going to be episodes where people fucking talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that type of show that has to happen.
It's world building.
It is, honestly, it is. But we'll talk about it in the midweek if we do one, and I'll have watched the season finale so we can talk about it a little bit more. And we'll give you a cue that if you need to exit out of the podcast to not catch any spoilers, then we'll tell you there.
Yeah, big spoiler warning.
Okay, so real random questions. I'll start. So if you had to disappear, right? Not necessarily if you had to disappear, but if you wanted to disappear. Say it's just you and Marissa and you're tired of, just regular life and you just want to kind of go out off the grid, find a spot and just be by yourself. Where are you going?
To never be found again or to like have a great, enjoyable life?
Not to never be found again.
Wyoming. Nobody ever goes out there. I'm
Okay.
not even sure if it's real.
All right.
Or someplace in Europe where all the white people look the same,
Okay.
like
Like
something,
Sicily, is that what you said?
or like Sardinia, like one of the Italian islands.
Yeah, that could be cool. There's still definitely civilization there though.
Oh, so like nobody around.
Well, I'm thinking you want to go live off the grid.
Oh, off grid. Honestly, probably like Montana or something. I hear it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Um, all right. I was thinking about the same thing. And yeah, at first I was thinking like somewhere just deep in like the Appalachian Mountains.
Fuck
Like
the
very,
Appalachian Mountains. It gets scary out there, dude.
yeah.
Skinwalkers out there. All the
But
disappearances that happen in national parks.
if you make peace with the skinwalkers,
Not possible.
it is possible. You just sacrifice goats and stuff and let them eat those.
Mm.
But I was thinking that, right? That'd be definitely good off-grid stuff. And then also like maybe if I just wanted to send it and go to like the mountains of Argentina or something like that. Or Peru.
Argentina, I'm gonna have to decline, because that's where the Nazis went after World War II,
That's fair.
and they'll sense the brown in my blood, and they'll sort me out quick. Um, Peru, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I'm pretty sure they regularly eat guinea pigs out there.
I would say that's probably a fair assumption. Um, I don't know that, but if I thought of anywhere in the world that might eat guinea pigs, I'd say it's probably somewhere in South America.
Guinea pigs, Peru. Yeah, yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I mean, they probably don't view them as pets like we do in America.
It's a dish usually served at parties. It's
I'd
like
eat a guinea pig.
I probably would too. If I was in that, like if you go to a culture where that's the only thing, I think the only thing I wouldn't eat, I don't eat beef right now just because of factory farming stuff, but that's not like I won't eat a cow. Um, I would eat probably anything other than a dog, a cat, or a primate.
Yeah, I feel that. I think horse would definitely be on my list as well. I don't know if I could get around that. That's why I don't eat at Burger King.
Don't do that. Listen, Corey put me on a mission to defend the BK, and I will.
Oh man, I had to throw it in there. I did.
Horse wouldn't be at the top of my list, but if I had to, I would eat a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, I'd probably eat anything. But
I don't
I
think
don't
I don't think I could get myself to eat a dog or a cat. I could get myself to eat a monkey if I had to.
look, if you're hungry enough, you'll eat anything.
Not my cat.
If you're hungry enough, you'd starve to death.
Yeah, I would. How
Oh,
long? How long is a 7 pound cat with? I mean, you're looking at maybe how much meat are you really going to get off of that?
yeah, I mean, in reality, cats
You know
not
what I mean? Like,
much.
how long is that going to satiate me? And then I have to live with the fact that I just killed my fucking cat.
That'd be pretty brutal.
Yeah. Now, Jazz, you get some meat off of Jazz.
Oh God,
You know what I mean? See, it's a sick conversation.
it's a sick conversation. I like to think that I'd be able to do it, but I honestly might just end it all before that happened.
Yeah, I'd kill myself and let my cat eat me and survive for years.
Yeah, because you know, uh, Derby would eat the shit out of you.
What? And Jazz would just lay by you.
I think so. I think Jazz would die
Uh,
before she ate me.
Jazz was looking at my cat like she was going to eat it when she was here.
That's different. It's not me. Dog,
I have half of mine to come to your house, murder you, and leave you there just to see what happens.
listen, dogs are loyal. Cats are just ferocious predators.
You're
Every
telling
night,
me you're telling me girl cat would eat you if she was alive?
yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Every night you go to sleep, your cat just sits on a perch somewhere and is just plotting. Derby is plotting for your demise. She's just like, okay, how can I eat? There's got to be some meat on those bones.
Well, she before we had the automatic feeder, she would bite my feet to try and wake me up to get her to feed.
Yeah, that's what you think. You thought she wanted that dry food. She really was trying to take a bite out of those toes.
Um, all right, enough of this sick, twisted conversation. My first random question was driving Carolina Beach today, going to a coffee shop that I've been trying to go to the past 2 days, and it was closed both days. Um, but I saw a kite very high in the sky. Gave me memories of my childhood in New York trying to fly a kite. And I remember maybe 3 or 4 times doing it, and it was just annoying to try and do. Do you have memories of kite flying, or do you think it's just something that's dumb as fuck, like I do?
So I've probably tried to fly a kite maybe 3 times in my whole life. And usually it was when I had some family visiting um, from up north. So, like, not necessarily north, but I have family that lives in Virginia and they'd come down and we go to the beach and, like, they're the type in the beach that goes and rents like the plastic fishing poles from Walmart and throw it in the ocean with like no bait on them to they're never going to catch anything. But like the tourist stuff, and they'd always have the kite and the hella umbrellas, all that stuff. And I remember like messing around with kites with them, and I do remember like flying kites and them being insanely hard to control.
Yeah.
And I remember like them getting up in the air and then like a gust would come and they'd almost turn into weapons.
Yeah, I remember, and I'm in the same boat, 3, 4 times maybe. But the little plastic piece you had in your hand, I always remember that getting tangled and being a bitch to get restarted.
Yes, yes, I do concur. I never happened, but I always wondered if I just let the kite go, if it would just take off, where would it go?
Probably Peru or Argentina.
Probably go hang out with the Nazis down in Argentina. Nazi
Uh,
kite.
what'd you say?
I said Nazi kite.
Okay, that's dangerous territory right there. That's very close to to a slur, buddy.
Oh man. Oh,
Just
good Lord.
just so everybody, that was Kite. Very close to a Myers Leonard situation right here. Very, very
Uh,
close. A guy like you can't be saying stuff like that, bro. If there's an Aryan looking one of the two of us, it's you.
oh, good God. All right. So if you had to eat at one fast food place for the rest of your life, not necessarily every meal, but like it was the only fast food place you could ever go to again. Okay, so it's like you got to pick this as your fast food representative. So think hard, but this is your only shot. You got to pick one. And every time you're feeling like you need a little convenient meal, this is the fast food place you got to go to.
Um, are like Jimmy John's and like sandwich places in this too,
No,
or just like
I don't think so.
traditional
I'm
drive-through
thinking
fast food?
correct, your traditionals.
This is tough because it's not going to be my favorite, but I'm gonna go Cookout for the variety.
That's
I was
fair.
thinking maybe McDonald's. First thoughts were really Burger King, Arby's, Chick-fil-A, but I don't know if there's enough variety at those places where it'll sustain me for a lifetime. And obviously, a whole lifetime, there's not enough at Cookout either. But the milkshake situation is in play. 40 flavors of milkshakes. A different one every day of the month if I go there every day, which I did in college. And, you know, shout out Mint Heath.
Okay, so cookout is your pick?
I'm gonna go with Cookout, yeah, for the variety.
Yeah. I see where you're saying, like the variety. I just don't think cookout has the quality of fast food. Um, with that, I think Chick-fil-A is a pick that you got to think of because it's consistent and it's always pretty quality. I don't think I've ever had a bad meal from Chick-fil-A. They never really mess up my order. I always get my stuff's not cold. So I think there's something to be said for that. However, it would be tough to eat spicy chicken sandwiches forever. Um, but they do have breakfast, which I think is a big factor for me. Because I'm definitely most of the time when I eat fast food, it's for breakfast to be real.
Quick commercial break right here. Just saw a terrible movie. Currently editing this episode. Long legs. Kinda trash. Here's Trey with the rest of his fast food.
So another one that I think is big on my list is Taco Bell.
They also have breakfast too, which I know Nick Grano has told me about, and I'm pretty sure Drew also really likes the breakfast there.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for Taco Bell breakfast. I think it is pretty good. Taco Bell's always like sloppy, I feel like, but I could eat Taco Bell a lot. I think they have enough variety for me where I can get different things. Um, but yeah, I think Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell would be my choices, and I think I might slight it to Chick-fil-A.
Okay, I can vibe with that. I know Wes also gets this. I'm not going to call it healthy, but it's definitely a healthier option, like the bowl that they have with the bean and rice with the chicken, the grilled chicken in there. That looks pretty good. And he's told me it was good a couple of times.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't had it tons, but you got one more random question, or we jump into pet peeves?
I got one.
All right, let's hear it.
Did you hear the or see the post where Brandon Jacobs, you remember him, played for the Giants, running back, talked about doing a line of coke before a game in high school and ran for like 380 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I know you played secondary, so uh, what would be your strategy, if any, if a coked up house like Brandon Jacobs is busting through the line and gets through the mid level and's coming at you?
Yeah, there would be no shot I hit him above the knee at all. He would have some pretty significantly bruised up shins if he didn't just hurdle me, which is probably what would happen. But yeah, there's not a shot in the world that I'm trying to go anything over the knee with Brandon Jacobs, especially a coked up Brandon Jacobs. If he's already rushed for like 250 yards that game, I might just let him have it.
That's one of those things where you like try and like dive at that guy's thigh and you break your shoulder.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of power coming at you.
It's a lot of man.
Yeah, especially a coked up man.
I just can't imagine like a guy that big in high
Yeah.
school.
Like what those memes, there's like I just finished freaking algebra 2 for the day. And then I'm gonna head out to the field and try and tackle Brandon Jacobs coming through the A gap. Yeah, no thank you.
Do you remember when we were probably in eighth grade, maybe freshmen in high school, and we would go play basketball at my Aunt Julie's house?
Yes, hold on, I have to interrupt you. Um, you just finished, who was the teacher? Miss Hankey's class. And you have to sit there and listen to Miss Hankey talk all fourth period. And then I gotta go prep to fucking tackle Brandon Jacobs. Okay, but yes, I do remember going to your Aunt Julie's house, um, and her having that basketball goal in the driveway.
Do you remember playing 2-on-2 with my Uncle John and his friend Trey?
Yes.
Um, he he was pretty good when we were playing then, but his high school team played against Mike Miller when he was in high
Really?
school. And he told me that he would have to he would have to match up with Mike Miller.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that didn't go well for him.
No, he told me it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously didn't.
Yeah.
That'd be tough because sometimes you guard people in high school and they're just freak athletes. Like I'm sure he was pretty athletic for a high school guy, but then just being able to shoot from anywhere. I mean, in high school, that's a cheat code.
Yeah, and who knows how tall he was because he got up to I think 6'8".
Yeah, he's a big dude.
That'd be cool. Maybe we get him on here to talk about matching up with Mike Miller.
That'd be cool. I'd like to do that.
Okay, so upcoming guests. Nick said he wants to do it next week.
Yep.
If we do a midweek this week, maybe we get Mike on here.
Okay.
Trey, my Uncle John's friend, don't know his last name. And then Bobby Frazier. I'm getting Bobby Frazier on here.
I hope so. Hopefully he remembers me beating him in a free throw contest.
Or Cody King, because I hear conflicting stories.
Yeah, well, if you're going to believe Cody King over me, then I think we need to reevaluate our friendship.
No, I'm not. But he does tell that same story.
Well, he's a liar. All right, pet peeves. I know we're running low on time. Pet peeves. So I was scrolling through Instagram and saw a funny Instagram story, and it just so happens to be your wife sharing a picture of her breakfast. And she had a cute little dainty sandwich that she got. And then there's Tyler over there with, like 3 pancakes, and omelet,
No,
a side of bacon. I'm pretty sure they were chocolate chip pancakes too.
no, they were not. I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was 2 eggs over easy, breakfast potatoes, a piece of liver pudding, 1 pecan pancake, and 2 pieces of rye toast. And I didn't finish all of it, by the way. I didn't even eat the potatoes. And I didn't eat a quarter of the pancake. Granted, was it still 2,000 calories? Probably. It's bulk season. I've been on an 8-year bulk.
Yeah, I know. It's a parrot, my guy.
Just wait. Just wait till fucking basketball season. That's happening in 2 weeks.
I was about to say basketball season's coming up pretty quick.
What's my goal this year? I averaged 25 points a game last year and was second in the league in scoring.
Yeah, I think the goal is obviously always going to be lead the league in scoring. I mean, also to win, right? Win the championship. That's something I don't think we've ever done in the men's league there.
No, the best year I had individually and team success was last year.
Yeah.
7-0. And then I played miserable in the playoffs and cost us our chance at a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough, man. So I think obviously goals to win, goals to lead the league in scoring. And I think anything over 20 points per game would definitely be a success.
Yeah. We have a different looking team this year. There's a guy off the free agent list who I messaged who apparently played D2. And I've actually played with him before. He's pretty good. But I'm going to play with him. We're going to run some ones and I'm going to see, if we match up personality wise, we think it'll be a good fit. So hopefully he seems pretty cool. Just texting him, but not a lot of people want to take a back seat to the big dog.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you have to give him the talking to when you guys play one-on-one.
Hey, Zach Green, he was going to play with us. And then he told me he was hurting like his body from the Wrightsville Beach League. And I told him, I was like, listen, the brights are just too light.
The brights are too light.
You know what it is, baby. The brights are too light.
The brights are too light. All right. That's a new one.
That is the name.
That's the name of the team or the podcast. The brights are too light. I like it.
My pet peeve is that when it says less than a minute on here, it doesn't give you a seconds countdown.
I agree. That is super annoying. Super annoying. I mean, because truthfully, like it goes from 5 minutes to less than a minute very quickly.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I better cut this off before everybody gets mad at me for being late to this movie.
All right, dog. What you seeing?
Long Legs, murder mystery.
All right. Well, I'll see you on the flip side.
Maybe we'll go a little longer midweek, depending on time constraints.
We can try that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Peace.